Welcome to the Kingspiration Podcast. This is the place where you'll learn how to get unstuck and gain momentum in your life and business. Each week, we tackle the real aspects of entrepreneurship, personal development, relationships, and fitness. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA, entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa, entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures, sharing wisdom and experiences to propel you forward. Welcome to Kingspiration. Let's start the conversation.
Right, today we are going to be speaking about when does self-help, or the topic of self-help, eventually become self-hindrance. And what I'm meaning by that is we're living in a world where there's absolutely no shortage of content. There's no shortage of books. There's no shortage of podcasts, much like this one that Ethan and I are recording. There's no shortage of articles. There's no shortage of newsletters coming into our inboxes every single day. And at what point does just chasing the next book to read, having the next podcast to listen to, having the next Audible book on 2x speed so that you're getting through content more and more quickly, at what point is that hindering us actually progressing? Rather than being this self-help and the self-development tool that it's meant to be. Ethan, It's good to see you.
Yeah, definitely. Good to see you, bud. Yeah, so I mean, it reminds me, I was talking to someone recently about consuming versus creating. And, consumption is anytime we're taking things in, whether you're binging a series on Netflix, or you're reading a book, or, you're watching a movie. Anytime you're taking things in and not creating and producing something, putting something out in the world. And not that consumption is bad. I mean, you can definitely consume things that are good for us. But I think what we're talking about here is at what point is it too much? Because we can get addicted to consumption. I mean, I love listening to podcasts and listening to audiobooks and reading, and I could just pour all this knowledge into my brain. But until I sit down and actually execute things into my business and make them come into reality, nothing is going to really change in my life by me just continuing to consume information, right?
Yeah, totally. And I think there's got to be, your consumption has to have intent attached to it. I think that's possibly the word that's jumping out at me. And that's either intent from a personal point of view or intent from being able to share. So am I consuming this so that I can action something off the back of reading this book or listening to this podcast? Or so that's action an improvement in my life, whether it's a different routine or a different habit in the morning or whatever it may be. Or am I consuming this so that I can create a LinkedIn post or a short 1-minute video where I'm able to share in my own words what I have just learned? One of the things that I think really jumps to mind for me is in the medical industry, the idea of, I always get the order wrong, but learn one, do one, teach one. I think that's always what they have to do. So you have to learn how to suture. Then you need to see a patient and actually go through the art of suturing, and then you have to teach another student how to suture. And that's how they get people to learn. And I think there's something to that. Just if we approach the consumption of knowledge in today's day and age in a very similar way, it would be very interesting to see how much less we possibly consume at sometimes. Not to say that it's wrong, but rather taking what we're learning and sharing or actually making practical changes in our own lives.
Yeah, I like that. Learn, do, teach. And I think that's a great philosophy. And you made me think about a concept called just-in-time learning as well. So if I have a tendency, for example, we were just talking about, I'm currently reading Elon Musk's biography by Walter Isaacson. And I'm reading it. I'm listening to it on Audible. It's a 20-hour long book. Now, it's fascinating, and I love hearing entrepreneurial stories and biographies. You can learn a lot from them, especially their origin stories of them growing up and learning how they think and what makes them tick, and the origin stories of their companies. Like I'm learning about how he started PayPal and Tesla. But at a certain point, it's like, how much of this information is directly relevant to my life right now? And how much of this can I actually take and implement in my business or in my life right now? Now, there are some things. In fact, one big takeaway that I've gotten from the book is that one of Elon Musk's superpower is his ability to say no to things and to shut out everything else and focus on the task at hand, whatever it is that he's working on, with single-minded focus. Now, I struggle with that because I love to do everything. I'm always, loving to travel. I feel like I'm missing out. I have FOMO if something's going on. That's my weakness, and I get distracted very easily. But I'd probably be a lot more successful if I had Elon Musk's superpower. And he doesn't care about being rude or pissing someone off. They say he has Asperger's. So that has served him well for what he wants to do. So maybe if I could take a little bit of that and apply it to my life. And I've actually started saying no to more things that don't directly serve current goals that I'm working on. But it's definitely a muscle that I need to develop. So that's an example, I think, of what you're talking about with the just-in-time learning, the learning and the doing. I guess now I'm teaching it, right? Teach you guys. Say no more often.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And yeah, I think this is just something that has been on my mind because I fall into the trap of what is the next book. I love listening to other podcasts, and there will always be the next book that's mentioned or whoever's been, and you fall into that. It just becomes this cycle of read one, sometimes not even finish it, and moving on to the next. And right. I mean, a good friend of both yours and mine, Richard Mulholland, speaks about the idea of the consumption of knowledge calories. That we're living in this day and age where we just consume knowledge calories and we're not actually burning them. And I suppose the challenge that I'll put out there to listeners, and the challenge to myself, is really to decide, I need to burn some of those knowledge calories that I am consuming. So before moving on to the next book, I need to kind of put a peg in the ground and say that I need to action one thing from every book, or one learning, share one learning from each podcast that you listen to, kind of just to pull it back a little bit and make sure that you're listening or you're consuming with intent. So I like this idea of consume knowledge calories, make sure that you're burning knowledge calories, and the burning of knowledge calories can be through actioning things in your own life and helping others learn, sharing what it is that you have learned.
Well said, my friend. I think there's no better way to end this episode than that.
Amazing. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed that one, and we will catch you on the next episode soon. Cheers.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Kingspiration. We hope this conversation sparked insights to ignite action in your life and business.
We're on this journey together, sharing our challenges and successes to help all of us take the next step towards building momentum and ultimately reaching our goals.
If you found value in today's episode, please share it with someone else who might benefit and leave us a 5-star review.
And remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on our weekly conversations. Until next time, keep rolling, keep growing, and keep being inspired.